Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Comic Book Nerd. And in today's video, we have a big update on the X-Men cast. We are going to talk about it in today's video. There's a lot that we have to go over in this video. But first, if you are new to the channel, you already know what to do. Leave a like, subscribe, turn that bell on as we do our best to post on this channel every single day. Like I said yesterday, if you watch yesterday's couple of videos, there will be a big announcement kind of at the end of Daredevil Born Again. I just need a few weeks to get everything down pat, but we will have a big time announcement, so stay tuned for that. And without further ado, let us hop into this X-Men casting update. So, yesterday, we had a big-time update on the X-Men cast, as it's been revealed that Marvel is going to start with the original 5 characters that were introduced in the 1963 comics. The OG 5 include Cyclops, Jean Grey, Beast, Iceman, and Angel, with the villain of the film reportedly being Rogue. Again, that is the OG X-Men in the comics, so again, Marvel looks to be going back to the original and is planning on starting this cast young, as they plan on doing things like maybe Apocalypse and Days of Future Past, that sort of storyline later on down the line, which would ultimately make sense, right? When we got the Avengers, we didn't just get an Avengers film. We got multiple films leading up to that, kind of building everything. And then we got our first Avengers movie. Then we got Age of Ultron as well, where they kind of had to fight a big bad villain or so. Then we got Thanos. So them doing On Top has been a formula that they've worked with over the years, and ultimately it would just make a lot of sense for them to do that and with the X-Men as well. So it's going to be interesting to see what Marvel does for sure, especially considering when you got Phase 7, 8, and 9 coming after Avengers Secret Wars with the X-Men, the Midnight Suns, and the Avengers. Very curious to see how Marvel ties all 3 of these teams together, and we know they are going to recast some of the Avengers in, of course, later on down the line as well. So that makes a lot of sense that Marvel wants to introduce these X-Men characters young, maybe introduce some more young Avengers characters as well, and then have them kind of team up with each other in the overall greater MCU. Stuff that we have never seen before. So ultimately, again, it just makes a lot of sense for Marvel to start young. But as for the cast, we have some big time news to go over about that, so let's hop into it. According to industry insider Jeff Snyder over on the Hot Mic podcast, he has revealed that Cyclops will be played by Harris Dickinson, Sadie Sink will be played by Jean Grey, and Beast will be played by Peter Claffey. The villain is going to be, of course, Rogue, who will be played by Odessa Azion as well. We've also, again, keep in mind, heard reports that another Deadpool movie is going to be in the works as well, kind of adding on top of what I said earlier. So maybe Deadpool is going to be one of the quote-unquote veterans of this X-Men team, and maybe he is going to lead this X-Men, of course, in the new MCU. And it looks like Marvel has their X-Men cast, writers, directors, and release date. And yeah, it's one of the best times to be a Marvel fan, that's for sure. That is just kind of something that I typed up on the way. But let me know what you thought of the X-Men cast in the comments down below. Let me know what you think of the X-Men cast in the comments. But I said, Marvel starting these X-Men characters young makes a lot of sense. And I've heard some kind of conflicting, I guess you would say, reactions to the Deadpool cast, especially, or to the X-Men cast rather, especially when it comes to, of course, Beast. A lot of people do not see Peter Claffey as Beast. However, personally, it's just makeup, and obviously he's got the build for it, so it would make a lot of sense for him to be Beast. Sadie Sink playing Jean Grey. Ultimately, we've heard that in Spider-Man Brand New Day. She is going to be introduced, obviously, and then go on to play a better and bigger role in the MCU. And again, it just makes a lot of sense for her to be on this team as well. Then we have, of course, Rogue, who's going to be played by Odessa Azion. Personally, I don't know about any of her works, but I do think that Marvel getting some of these lower level actors, I'm not trying to diss on them in any way, but I'm just saying them not going for the big ones like they did with the Fantastic Four makes a lot of sense. And they are trying to, of course, build up these actors into roles that they could play 10, 20 years later on down the line, just like what we did with Steve Rogers, of course, Iron Man, Tony Stark as well. So again, They are trying to replicate the formula that they did with the Avengers, and ultimately, I do think it is going to work out for the best for Marvel Studios. But you guys, let me know your thoughts on this casting news in the comments down below. How excited are you for the X-Men in the comments down below as well? Do you think Deadpool is going to lead this team? Personally, between all the jokes that he's made, I think Marvel can kind of build off of that and say, hey, we actually are going to make you the leader of the new X-Men team in the MCU. I think that would be super cool. I think there could be a lot of jokes made with Deadpool and stuff like that as well, and kind of giving the team a little bit of, I guess you would say, pointers here later on down the line in the MCU when they are fighting some of these massive villains as well. But you guys, let me know your thoughts on this video in the comments down below. How excited are you for the X-Men? It looks like we have our cast, writers, directors, and release date, and Marvel Studios is cooking up something nicely for the X-Men. Let me know what you think of it in the comments down below. Like, subscribe, turn that bell on, as we do our best to post on this channel every single day. Thank you all so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Peace.